As you guys know, the Evo X has been a crazy challenge so far. From us replacing the entire engine and drivetrain to making it run and bringing it back to life once again. On the previous episode of the Evo X build, we replaced, restored, and reinstalled the entire brake system. Now, all we have left to make this car drivable again is to install the front pads, bleed the brake system, and bed in the new brake pads. With that being said, let's get right to it. I started off by restoring all the brake hardware with a wire wheel. Installing the brake pads and hardware on the Brembos is the easiest thing ever, even easier than regular sliding calipers, at least to me. Just make sure you pay attention to detail when doing this. Now, to start the bleeding process for the brake system, I first put generic brake fluid and let the lines gravity bleed. Meaning, once I see the lines dripping, I'll take my banjo bolt and bolt it to the caliper. Once that is done, then I will bleed the brakes the old school way, which is the two-person method. I tell a person to pump the brakes and hold. As they are holding, I open up the bleeder and you will see all the air the lines have. Pump 3 times and hold. Hold. You have to do this in a particular order. Always refer to your car's manual to see the correct method. As I started bleeding the brakes, I put the trusty Motul .4 brake fluid, which again, this is a total overkill for a daily. I did 2 rounds on the car until there were no more bubbles in the brake system and the brake pedal was hard as a rock. Just like that, the Evo X is back on the road. Now we are going to move into brake bedding. And honestly, don't overcomplicate this. This is just getting the brake pad material onto the rotor and just mating, giving it heat cycle to the rotor just to make sure that the lifespan of these brake rotors and brake pads last and they actually do the job, which is stopping the car. So what we want to do is stop the car and get some heat on the brake rotors and brake pads. Not to the extreme at first. I would say maybe 40 to 10. So you're going 40 miles per hour and stopping to 10 miles per hour, at least about 8 times. Once you get some heat on the brake pads and brake rotors, then you could drive the car a little bit, cool it down, and then you want to do some, I guess you could say, extreme stopping. You could maybe go from 80 miles per hour to 20 or 60 to 10, something like that. But just do that a couple of times just to, again, bed in the brake pads. this car is handling really, really well. Surprisingly, because I feel like the CT9A, the Evo 8 chassis is the one that handles the best because it's smaller, but this one feels more rigid. I don't know how to put it, but it just feels more rigid, more controllable. The Evo 8 or Evo 9 feels way lighter. I'm not sure how to explain it, but hopefully that makes sense. And the car is stopping really, really good, which is always a plus. That is going to conclude today's episode. In the next video, we are going to finish installing all the missing parts, the wing, front bumper, front lip. This car is gonna be almost complete. And then for your favorite part, and at least my favorite part, which is restoring the car.